Hello and welcome to Tax Firm Innovation, assessing and enhancing your current processes. This webcast is brought to you by CPA Practice Advisor Magazine and SafeSend. I'm Gail Perry, Editor-in-Chief of CPA Practice Advisor, and I'll be your moderator today. Before we get started, I'd like to explain how CPE for this webcast works. The webcast qualifies for 1 credit of continuing professional education. If you plan to earn CPE for attending this session, you must stay with us for at least 50 minutes. In addition, we will display 4 polling questions during the webcast. You will need to record an answer for at least 3 of the questions, as this is our verification that you are still watching the webcast. Later today, you'll receive an email from CPA Practice Advisor that contains a link to your CPE certificate, assuming you met the requirements for CPE. Please note that we can give CPE credit for multiple people watching on the same computer. So if there are others in your office who would like to attend this event at the same computer, please have them join you now. And at the end of the event, we'll provide an opportunity for you to send us their email addresses so that they too can receive CPE credit. At any time, you can enter any questions you might have in the Ask a Question box provided on your screen. You may need to scroll down beneath our slide presentation to see that box. Our speaker during the presentation will try to get to as many questions as possible. Questions not answered during this live webinar will be addressed by the speaker afterwards via email. Our slides are available today for download by clicking the event resources at the bottom of your screen, and then click on the PDF file that's displayed. Also, the archived version of this presentation will appear on the CPA Practice Advisor website after the event ends. Note that CPE credit will not be available for watching the archived version. Today, we're joined by Stephen Lyon, lead product marketer at SafeSend. And now we're ready to begin.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Gail, for that introduction. My name is Stephen Lyon. I'm the lead product marketer for SafeSend. I'll get into a little bit more about myself here in just a minute, but I just want to say, first of all, thank you to everybody at CPA Academy for having me on today. Folks, I'm not going to be showing my screen or anything today. We're just going to be going through the PowerPoint. And if you do have questions, please go ahead and use that QA section. I have an awesome colleague, Lisa, who's going to be in there answering questions as we go through. And when we get to the end, if I can answer some live, if we still have a little bit of time, I'll go ahead and do that. So hopefully everyone can hear me all right and I sound good. The first thing that I want to do before I jump into the agenda and the content is actually want to get to know you folks a little bit better. So with that, I actually want to launch our first polling question right out the gate for you folks.
All right.
Go ahead. Sorry, Gail.
Yeah, okay. Our first question will appear on your screen. And the question is, who is our audience today? And your options are tax, audit, bookkeeping, other, or all of the above. So please choose the answer that is most appropriate to you, and then click the reply button. Although I'm not seeing it. There it goes. I'm sorry. I'm not seeing that on our screen yet. I'm sure it will be up there momentarily. And then you can click the reply button to see the results of our survey. And I'm sorry, I'm still not seeing it. It should be there momentarily. Okay. When you see this, you choose the answer that most applies to you, tax, audit, bookkeeping, other, or all of the above, and click the submit button. And then if there's any problem posting your answer to this question, sometimes depending on the device you're using, the question doesn't show up. You can always enter your answer in the Ask a Question box, and we will record it there. And we'll leave this up for just a few more seconds to give everyone a chance to post their answer. Again, if you have any trouble answering it, just put your answer down in the Ask a Question box. Okay, and it looks like everybody's had a chance to answer, and it looks like primarily we have a tax audience here, just about 2/3.
Awesome. All right. Well, it was great getting to know who's with us as we go through this today. Again, any questions, please put it in the QA and let's go ahead and begin. So before I do a full introduction of myself, I'm going to go ahead and go through our agenda. So we'll do an intro here, and then I want to introduce SafeSend. SafeSend, want to give you folks a good introduction, kind of level set who we are, what we do in the tax and accounting space for those of you that don't know who we are, and we'll jump into the content for today. We're going to cover a few different things. We're going to cover innovation, efficiency, tech stacks, staffing issues, and then I'll wrap up with my final thoughts. The goal of today is to just kind of give you a good overview of where we stand as a company in the marketplace, where we think the industry is heading, and things that can help the industry overall kind of just increase not only the efficiency of their firms, but hopefully that efficiency can lead to growth and other things alike. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. Again, as I said, my name is Stephen Lyon. I'm the product marketing lead at SafeSend. I've been working with SafeSend and firms for over a decade. Okay, I've been working with firms on going digital, moving paperless. Now that we're primarily kind of a paperless industry, I've also been working on helping firms adopt better digital processes, making things more streamlined, more efficient, consolidating those tech stacks, and really with a heavy focus on client experiences. I am out of Meridian, Idaho, and I've been, again, with SafeSend since 2013. Okay, so to introduce SafeSend, SafeSend is a company that provides tools for the tax and accounting industry. Now, mainly where we try to focus is in the tax process itself. And when I say in the tax process, we're really talking about the front end and the back end, the gathering and the delivery aspects of a company, of the firm. So we're providing tools that help you folks get tax returns out, gather documents, get things e-signed, but we didn't always have a hand in that area. And this is kind of the history or the timeline of the company. Now, back in 2008, we had a tool called Take Time Calculate that was a Adobe Acrobat tool. As we started doing digital work paper preparation, and that became more prevalent in Adobe, we found the need that we needed some help with some of the tools, that the standard tools in Adobe didn't really offer a whole lot. So we built one specifically for the tax and accounting industry: check marks, cross references, the ability to run calculator tapes and paste them, mark two things together throughout the document. And that's really kind of where our roots started. And then from there, as we get into 2010, 2012, we started going into the document exchange space. Obviously being able to transfer documents back and forth, not just through a portal type solution, but even a file exchange solution or over email as secure PDFs, things like that. Moving into e-signatures, we had the first tax and accounting specific e-signature product that was on the market at the time. It was called CPA SafeSign and Signature Flow. And that allowed us to get e-signatures with KBA on 8879s once the IRS approved those. And then from those kind of different ideas spawned our flagship product and kind of what we're known for, which is SafeSend Returns, which is an automated recognition and assembly system of a tax return. What we do is we package up a return, recognize all the action items out of it, and get it out the door and sent to your client for them to go through a very simple three-step experience of reviewing, signing, and making payments. Okay? And this is actually where we won our first innovation award with CPA Practice Advisor. A year later, we introduced entity returns and the ability to distribute K1s electronically, which actually got us our second innovation award. And we've added some more things, support for organizers and the ability to send extension packages through. And we've won innovation awards for those features as well. So we've really had tremendous growth and really look to expand what we can offer you in a single solution. So moving on to kind of what the SafeSend suite does is, again, we handle the front and the back end, the gathering and the delivery for the most part of the tax process. So when we're trying to gather documents in order to prep for that year, we're getting engagement letters signed. We can either send individually or in batches. We're getting electronic signature on those. We have document request lists where we can go ahead and request specific documents from any client type and have them upload those items specifically to that list. We can send organizers that are converted to electronically fillable PDFs, secure file transfer, and our new Gather feature with AI. Gather will allow you to send any request or any group of requests, whether that be a custom questionnaire, document request list, an organizer, allow you to send that. And we actually use AI features in that. And they are very specific AI features. Number one, they auto-generate a document request list. And number two, they recognize the files that your clients upload to the Gather process and will actually map those out to those items that you've put on that request list. So pretty cool. We have connections through API. We have direct integrations with many solutions out there: CCH Access, Thomson Reuters, UltraTax and Go System, Intuit, Lacert, TaxCaddy, Stripe. So we have a good amount of connections there. We don't really do much in preparation. I guess you could argue that the TickTime Calculate prep tool for Adobe could be considered the preparation, but really our bread and butter is the delivery. The delivery of the tax returns, e-file forms, your invoices, extensions, the organizers, distributing K1s automatically. All of this with reporting and tracking and the ability to make sure you know where your clients are in the process and giving them automated reminders on things such as voucher payments they have throughout the year. SafeSend will automatically remind them throughout the year. Now, all of this brought together with an unrivaled client experience. We have a 97% success rate through KBA. We have no passwords, no usernames that the clients are going to forget year over year. So reducing calls that you or your firm are going to get. And it really is very simple for them. 3 steps only. So I want to just give some usage just so you folks understand our growth throughout the years. Here on the screen, we can kind of see the growth that we have had with returns starting in 2017. Now, of course, it was starting a little earlier, but don't want to show everything. But you can see that the usage of returns and how many clients of our firms are actually using us. And it's a tremendous amount. And all of these get through very quickly, very simply. And as we go through these, we'll see kind of the same trend across all of the items in there. Our clients are now expecting digital processes. So as we go to organizers and we see those numbers tick up, and then the signature documents that we send out, these are engagement letters, consent forms, things like that. Those usage numbers are increasing each year, concluding in the documents transferred securely. All right, so let's get into the meat. That's enough about SafeSend. Let's get into why we're here today, and that is to talk about our firms in general. Now, the first section that we have here is the need for innovation. Now, I could list a ton of reasons why innovation is crucial. We could talk about cost reduction. We could talk about scalability and growth, data security, etc. But what we're going to focus on for today is these 3 here. Efficiency and productivity first. Now, adopting technologies that have automation, that have AI, that have machine learning can obviously significantly improve the efficiency of productivity in your processes. Okay, we can automate repetitive tasks, reducing the time and effort required for manual data entry, manual tracking, looking up and seeing where our clients are. If we can have that stuff automated and flow into maybe a workflow product, that would be great. Reconciliation and other report generations. This will allow the firm and your admin or whoever is doing these tasks today to focus on more value-added services, right? The name of the game is to have them do more productive work and not do so much manual tasks that take time. Okay. Number two, client service and experiences. Now, these tools and platforms can improve the client experience by providing a more simple, accurate, timely, and personalized service. Okay, so simple client experiences where they don't have to log in with passwords. They can do dual factor authentication that doesn't require them to remember things year over year, leads to less frustration on their end if they can handle it themselves. And I would argue that, if you can get a solution out there that has a client walk through each step one at a time, allow them to get things done simply and easily and calls it out, they'll actually feel a lot better about what they've done and probably feel better about using your services in general, knowing that you use solutions that aren't overly complicated and cause them frustrations. So allowing them to access their financial information in real time, transparency, including communications. You can use those data analytics that some of these tools will provide, such as the time they're in, how many requests you get, how many messages you get through the app, things like that. It'll allow you to provide deeper insights and strategic advice to your clients and to your team in general. Okay. Employee satisfaction and retention. Implementing innovative solutions can definitely improve employee satisfaction, right? Reducing those mundane tasks, enabling them to focus on that value added work, allowing them to do things that are more meaningful to the firm, okay? Enhancing their job satisfaction, reducing turnover, and most importantly, kind of in the area that we're in right now, is attracting that top talent to the firm. Okay. The top talent that's coming out is not that much. And this has always been a problem. We'll talk about staffing a lot more later. So I don't want to harp on it too much right now. But this talent is expecting your firm to be using cutting edge technology, using solutions that reduce the amount of work that they have to do. So we want to keep that in mind. Now, while I'm talking about innovation, I'm just going to show this slide here. Now, we are a 4-time Innovation and Technology Award winner from CPA Practice Advisor. Innovation is at the heart of what we do and what we have built here at SafeSend, focusing on problems that exist, not only for the firms, but for your clients as well. But we also focus on solving problems that don't exist yet, looking past what is right now and seeing what could potentially be issues in the future, which is where the heart of innovation lies. Okay, now a lot of people in the past that I've done a lot of these webinars, I've had a lot of demonstrations and stuff, they say, you know what, this is how we've always done it. Or, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. To me, those phrases are just used as a barrier for change. And when innovating, these phrases are essentially shields against that innovation. They want to fight wasted efforts. They don't want to get caught up in things that are perceived as trends that are out there in the industry. And it's understandable, but we can't lock ourselves off completely. And the reason I mention this and what I'm leading up to is this great quote here from Grant Freeland. Now, Grant Freeland is a senior advisor and a senior partner at Boston Consulting Group. And I read a paper once that, he had an answer for if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, the answer that he talked about was the answer is because in the world of business, the phrase is just wrong. Fixing things before they break, preemptive transformation, as they call it, or as he calls it, is an absolute necessity. Okay? Preemptive transformation ends up taking less time, costing less money, increasing the stability of your firm, and overall creating more value in the long run than if you were to just say, same as last year, if it ain't wrong, don't fix it, things like that. So what he says here specifically, too, is we are not talking about change for the sake of change. We're talking about change for the sake of increased growth and continued success. If we want our firm to grow, if we want to expand our client base, we want our admin to be able to do more with the time they have, innovation is absolutely crucial. Okay. With that, I'm going to go ahead and we are going to go ahead and we'll turn it over to Gail to launch our second polling question. And that is on the screen now.
Okay, our second question is, what percentage of tax return packages did your firm send electronically to clients this filing season? And your answer options are 0 to 10%, 11 to 25%, 26 to 50%, or 76% or more. And when that pops up on your screen, just choose the most appropriate answer and then click the submit button. Okay, and we'll leave that up for a few more seconds. Okay, and I think most of our answers are in. We're going to go ahead and share these results with you so that you can also see how our audience answered.
All right, folks. So what I'm seeing here is that, we have about 30% of you are saying 76% or more, and about 30 of you are saying 0 to 10%. So it's pretty split that you're either doing things in paper, not electronically still, or you have gone all the way and you are sending the majority of your items electronic. Now, I would urge you, now as someone from SafeSend, of course, I have a bias on the SafeSend side, but talk to your fellow firms, see what they're doing, see what it's helping, and see if it can help your firm. It's on you to kind of look at that and see if this stat will help you in the future. We'll talk about that more a little bit later, but let's go ahead and continue and talk about efficiency. Okay, so I just want to give some thoughts on some tools that can help, things that have helped our business and seen implemented in other firms that things that have helped other firms kind of boost their efficiency. So first, we'll talk about tools and strategies for in-office staff. So I'm just going to pop these up here. Number one, workflow automation. Okay, this can include data entry, scheduling meetings, managing emails. We want to automate some of that stuff. So there's plenty of tools out there that allow you to reduce the time spent on some of these tasks. And again, they can be small items, and it doesn't seem like that much to maybe schedule a meeting. But once you schedule multiple meetings over and over and over again, you realize that you're spending quite a bit of time doing those routine tasks. And introducing that automation can not only save the time, but it can minimize any human error, right? Invites to wrong folks or anything like that. I'm focusing on the invites, but think about it in terms of your firm and what those things can do. So implementing a workflow automation will allow you folks to focus on more strategic and creative tasks and boost your productivity and efficiency. Okay. And if you can tie these into other tools that are existing, then that would be awesome. Now, effective use of collaboration tools. Now, these can enable the CPAs, the professionals, the admin to really collaborate together, whether that's on client files, sharing updates instantly, tracking project progress. Effectively using these collaboration tools will make sure that everyone's aligned, reduce the risk of miscommunication, and enhance the ability to work together on not only complex tasks that we have, but simple ones as well. Okay. So having it aligned and making sure that you have a solution that updates everybody all around is going to be vital for making sure that everyone is on the same page. Okay. Best practices for remote staff. Now, I've gone to a lot of events this year, and I'm hearing one thing in regards to remote staff. I'm going to take a second to kind of step back before we talk about the tools and strategies. And what I'm hearing is that obviously in 2020, when COVID hit, we were all told, hey, you can't go into the office. We had to do remote solutions. Staff had to be remote. And that hasn't gone away 100%, right? I don't think it's ever going to go away. Remote work is here to stay. But one of the things that I'm hearing overall in these conferences and events that I'm going to is we're starting to see a little bit of slip in our remote staff productivity. And that's unfortunate, right? Because we want to maintain that good work-life balance, but we also want to make sure that we are doing the job that we're being paid to do, right? So a couple of tools that we can do here. Again, that workflow automation, making sure that we're automating, automating their tasks from a remote area. Okay. This is not only the workflow, but we could talk about secure access through VPNs, project management tools, task organization tools. This gives you the ability to make sure that you're tracking deadlines, you're seeing where they're at, and really just enabling them to perform their tasks effectively. And if they are performing them, then they shouldn't have any issues on that productivity side. So it allows them to use those technologies, and you can ensure that your remote staff is maintaining the same level of efficiency and security as their in-office counterparts, right? Now, maintaining the productivity and engagement. Really what this is going to be about is regular check-ins, honestly. Regular check-ins, virtual team meetings. I know that everyone kind of has what we're throwing around as Zoom fatigue and things like that. But honestly, it's as long as you're having Zoom meetings that are vital and that they are to a point and making sure that we have a goal in mind, they can be very productive and help keep people engaged and have that productivity stay high. Now, providing remote employees also with opportunities for professional development and really clear performance expectations can also play a vital role in maintaining those high levels of productivity. And especially engagement as well. We want to make sure that they don't feel like they're on an island and that your work or the firm suffers for it. So these technologies, these check-ins and time management systems and things can foster a better culture, hopefully boost morale and overall increase the efficiency. Now, what about your clients? Okay, I'm just going to put all of these up on the screen real quick. As long as they go. There we go. So what about your clients? Okay, I like this cartoon here. I've been using it since COVID, but it still makes me laugh, especially just the last one. Making TikTok videos. Maybe we should start with what digital transformation doesn't mean. No, what digital transformation is just simply about making your world better for the clients. Okay, or making the task that they have to complete a lot easier. Anything that can lead to enhanced accuracy, things that are automatically reading items off of returns or organizers, time savings, giving them the ability to complete tasks quickly and with a 10-minute digital process versus handing them a paper envelope of an organizer that they're never going to fill out and it's going to sit on their counter and you're going to chase them. Cost effectiveness. Are they adding a $20 tool to save time on their process, or excuse me, are you adding a $20 surcharge for technology and it saves them time and makes it very effective for them? Improved communication. Do you have capabilities of discussing things with them in the app or in the tool that you're using? Any things like that. Better resource allocation. Again, we've talked about this a couple times, and that is, hey, you want your staff to be doing different things that aren't so mundane, and overall just increase client satisfaction. Of course, the easier something is, the happier they'll be, the less calls they have to make to you, the more satisfied they will be. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next topic, and that is tech stack consolidation. Okay. Now, tech stack consolidation is really as it sounds. What we want to do is identify redundant tools that we already have in our existing tech stack. I keep talking about introducing tools for efficiency, introducing tools for productivity and things like that. But we may already have these in our firm today. So everybody, I implore you, and again, this is on you, is to conduct a comprehensive review of all the software and tools that are in your system already or that are in your toolbox, and analyze what you have available to you. What are you using each tool for? What do we have? Involve your team members to gather insights, not just the decision makers that may have bought the tool in the first place, but those that are on the front lines using it in addition to those. See what your differences in priority are on those tools, and see if there's anything that you're using or paying for that you can maybe get rid of and go to a different tool. So again, recognizing overlaps and inefficiencies, highlight tools that don't integrate with other systems, things that create manual work still. So spot areas where manual processes are still prevalent. Really in here, this is where a lot of folks can kind of get messed up in some tools today, is they have a tool that does 75% of what they need it to, and then maybe there's something it doesn't do, but it has a workaround. I would argue that workaround to complete that task is actually just a manual process. If it takes you 3-4 clicks to do something different and it doesn't work as intended, but it gets the job done, is a manual process. Is there something that we can do in any other tool or a different tool that has that automation where you don't have to do those manual processes? What's taking time overall? And then, of course, evaluate the cost implication of maintaining everything. If you have a solution that has standalone e-sign in it, why are we going to also pay for a standalone e-sign solution like Right Signature or DocuSign or anything like that? There are solutions out there that just give you e-signature on any document without paying extra. So look at those things and take a look. So again, we want to select multifunctional tools. Okay, multifunctional tools that have a wide range of functionalities that cover across multiple processes. At SafeSend, our SafeSend suite covers the front end and the back end, the delivery, the gathering, the e-signing, the transferring. And I'm not saying that we're the right solution, and we're not talking about returns specifically right now, but it is a software that covers multiple needs, and it allows you to not have to have multiple tech stacks in the firm. So also look for tools that provide scalable growth solutions. Do they have different tiers of their product that introduce newer features that you folks may use in the future as you grow and get more efficient? You don't have to go all in all at once. It's probably not smart to do so, but you can absolutely see where the future goes with that. So lower operational costs by eliminating things that you don't need. Get rid of specific of softwares that aren't necessary. You can improve consistency if you can get things that are integrated with each other. Workflow integrations with other programs and things that that allow data to transfer between those tools back and forth. And then of course easier training and onboarding for new staff, right? We have seasonal staff, we have part-time staff that can come in, and if we're not going to have them year round, it will take a while for them to learn all of these different tech stacks, and they may not even learn it. I know that there's plenty of firms out there that go, well, this is too much. We're just going to have you do this mundane task, and that's what you're going to do for this season. Even with your seasonal staff, you want them doing what's best for the firm and what's going to what's just better for you folks in the long run, and even better for them, learning more, so when they come back next time, they start off on a higher level than they would have before. So fewer systems to learn, easier onboarding, easier training, eliminating costs, and you kind of getting rid of those redundancies. Okay, so on this, what about your clients? Okay, are you providing digital collaboration accessibility? Is the tools that you're using providing transparency and communication? Are we securing data or sending data securely? Is it a user-friendly experience? These are all questions that you should ask yourself when we're talking about the client, because we talk about efficiency and productivity, but we tend to think about that for ourselves. What's going to take my hours a week down especially during busy season. We're not really thinking about the clients. Now, a lot of our firms, when we talk to them, they do think about their clients, but when we talk about those buzzwords, if you will, of productivity and efficiency, we're really talking about internal. But we need to think about the clients as well. Okay, so we'll move on to this next slide. Now, this is client collaboration as a whole. There's a lot of different things that we can do in the tax process to communicate with our clients. We can communicate with them over email, paper, mail, fax, e-signatures, portals, in person, using secure file transfers to send them things digitally. This is a lot of channels. Okay, and the odds are that most of us, anyone that answered that last polling question at all, probably is doing a mix of these things, right? There was 30% on the low end, 30% on the high end, and the rest of you were right in the middle, which means that you're probably doing multiple channels here. Now, I would argue that if you are using a portal to transfer the client's documents to them, their tax return, and then you're using DocuSign for e-signature, and then they're using email to ask you questions and get clarity on their returns, I would call that a disparate mess. Even though it's all digital, it's disparate, it's multiple channels, and it's multiple touch points that your client and you have to navigate. I would argue that if you were to just send everything paper, communicate only paper, that is actually a better client experience, causing less frustration than putting multiple channels in and confusing them on what they're supposed to do. We're sending our organizers in paper in an envelope, but we're sending the tax return in a portal that they have to log into, possibly forget their password for, and then reach out to you folks to reset it. But we're going to e-sign through a different email that we didn't see. It's not coming from the same place, so we may have missed it. You kind of get my point. So if you use one channel specifically, I would argue it's a lot more efficient than piecemealing all these things together. And just kind of think about these things that you're doing and how many touch points you're giving your client and how that can lead to frustration. Okay. So with that, before we jump into talking about staffing issues, which is next, let's go into our next polling question.
Okay. Our next polling question is, what was your biggest frustration with e-signature on 8879s? And the options are, I couldn't send with an unknown spouse email address, KBA security questions that my client had to answer, e-sign request email was not received, clients are unsure of what to do, or this isn't applicable, or I don't use e-signature. And I would just personally, as a tax accountant, add there should have been an all, because I had all of those problems with my own clients. But go ahead and pick the one that seems most appropriate to you, and then click the submit button, and we'll record that answer. And you'll be able to see. I think we've got our Q&A fixed. We had a little bit of technical difficulty earlier, but you'll be able to see as our answers are coming in what the overall response is from our group. Also, I just want to point out that if you sent us a question and you were expecting an answer and haven't seen it yet, down in the Ask a Question box, there's a line that says total answered questions. And if you click on that, you can see if we sent you a specific answer to your question. And one more thing while we're waiting for these results to come in, I just want to mention that if you have trouble answering this on screen, you can post your answer in the Ask a Question box. We will record it there. If you get any problem in receiving your CPE certificate, we'll tell you at the end of this webinar how to resolve that, and we'll make sure everyone's answers are recorded. So overall, it looks like it's spread kind of evenly across the board. We have 40% saying they don't use e-signatures, but all the others have participants in these answers.
Awesome. So those are kind of the results that we would expect. Clients are unsure of what to do, which kind of lends credence to what we were talking about before in that last slide. And that's that collaboration is a disparate mess. Okay, we want to look for solutions that guide the client instead of just sending them emails with instructions and expecting them what to do, writing our own instructions that they're not going to follow. And not just SafeSend alone, but there's others that are done by Thomson Reuters and CCH, but there are solutions out there that walk the client through step by step so that they don't get confused and they know exactly what to do. So thank you all for those results. Let's go ahead and move on to staffing. Okay. Now, it's no secret that in our industry, staffing has always been a challenge. Okay, more so during COVID, but it has never been something that we've just been amazing at. We've not just had a huge pool to pull from where like we can't get enough people. So what this leads to is really three avenues of solving. Okay, so these staffing issues, preparing or even solving them, comes down to three things, and that is finding and attracting new talent, number one. That's what everyone is trying to do. Okay. Outsourcing work to another service firm or maybe to your alliance. And then utilizing technologies to empower current staff, which is something that we've been talking about already thus far. Now, finding and attracting new talent, everyone's doing it. It's just hard. There's not as much, right? But outsourcing work to a service or another firm. Now, this is a good option, and it's one that you're seeing used a lot more. You have companies that are offering services or putting together networks of like at-home CPAs and things like that, which is a great solution. But it's not without its risks or concerns, and frankly, frustrations. Right? You have costs. You can have IT security risks. You don't know what that person's network is looking like on their end or what they're doing with the information. Integration dilemmas. Are you having to pay for licenses to all these other things? And then, frankly, inadequate tech support. If you are having issues with a system, with a service, or with a person, those areas are really not, or those services aren't really built to have really good help or tech support. Okay. Utilizing technology. I mean, in addition to these other two items, utilizing technology is the only option that everybody should be doing. And we'll go into that a little bit more, but this is really step one in getting our current staff to be able to do more. So in my opinion, it really is only two options, and that is to hire additional staff, which everyone is struggling with, or retain and get more out of your existing staff. Okay, retaining gets more productivity. Companies like SafeSend, Tex, or SurePrep, well, now Thomson Reuters, can help with these things. So utilizing technologies to empower staff. Okay, what we want to do here is use those technologies designed to automate the manual tasks. We've talked about it thus far, but why are we going to do that? To help reduce frustration on both your firm end and the client end. Automation helps you handle client loads with the same or less staff. Okay. We can take a return that you're spending 10 to 15 minutes do on our end, let's say, and do it in 3 to 4 minutes. Now you're handling 3 returns in the original time of handling 1 return. Now we're talking about less staff, but we're not suggesting, or I'm not suggesting, that we be prepared for staffing shortages or eliminating staff at all. What we want to do is just be ready in case we do have an increase in our client base. We do have someone leave unexpectedly. And we want to make sure that we have a solution that reduces mind-numbing tasks and encourages elevated responsibilities. I know I see a thing in there in the question answer that was just saying, hey, admins do a little bit less than professionals do. Well, let's get some solutions there that allow your admins to kind of step up a little bit and do a little bit more, maybe pull some of that responsibility off the professionals if they can help with that and do a little bit more productive work. Okay. Now, it's not always about introducing technology. Okay. It's not always about the technology you have or that you're trying to purchase. That alone won't solve it. Sometimes it's an issue with the staff that you already have. Okay. What I have here pictured, this is more of a funny slide, is a concrete head. This is someone who's adverse to change. This is one of those people that we were talking about at the beginning. It says, oh, same as last year. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay. You need to overcome those mindsets, and some of the reasons and those shields that get put up to block that innovation is my clients want it paper. Though they don't. Since COVID, the overwhelming evidence and the articles and anything that you read show that your clients want the easiest digital solution. Nobody has filing cabinets at home anymore. That's a generalization. Majority don't. And they don't want to house those paper documents. Everything is cloud related. We can access everything from our phones. They do not want it in paper. My clients are too old. This is just silly. A lot of older folks are adopting new technologies. They've been forced to learn more, and they can get through it. And another thing with technology is your older clients, they actually read and look at what is on screen in front of them instead of just skipping. So they actually get through these digital solutions quite easy as long as that solution is walking them through properly. This is my largest client, and I need to justify fees. I would argue that your largest client would want you to use the most efficient, easiest way possible to work with them, gather their information, work with their financial advisors, lawyers, whoever it be, and get the job done the most efficiently. That's why they are probably one of your largest clients. I'm already sending it digital with Portal. Okay. Yes, that's a step in the right direction, but Portal doesn't solve anything or everything. Excuse me, not anything. It doesn't solve everything. What about e-signing the e-file forms? Okay. What about getting them access without having to remember a password? Portals are great for storage if that person is accessing it quite frequently. The stats that I've seen out there in articles and talking to firms is about 30% or less actually adopt normal and continued use of the portal, like ongoing. But they're great for storage, terrible for one-time delivery. Okay. My client doesn't want to learn a digital solution. This goes back to my clients want it paper. Most clients are willing to learn a digital solution as long as it is intuitive and easy to use, not something challenging. And then I don't want to change. Of course, you need to change to grow, to evolve, to get bigger, to lessen frustration, to make your staff's lives a little bit easier. We need to change. We need to innovate, and we need to continue. Okay, so just my final thoughts. Overall, again, importance of staying updated with new technologies. Go to webinars just like this one. Go to events. Learn everything you can through your CPE sessions. Stay up to date with those technologies that are out there. If you're having problems that you think could have solutions out there, look it up. Do your research. Look at the tools that you already have, and we can go ahead and provide an actual benefit with these tools if they're used in the right way. AI is a hot topic, and AI is in the front end of what everybody is talking about now. Now, my argument for AI is just because someone says they have AI doesn't mean that it's going to be used in the right way. We want to be using tools that are used in a productive, meaningful way. Okay, not just AI for AI's sake and to say that we have it. Is that AI actually accomplishing a task that you're having a problem with? Okay, providing an actual benefit. Strategies for maintaining your staffing and client growth, tools that help remove those mundane tasks, client growth, having good experiences. If you have a good experience, the client gets through quickly, word of mouth goes around, you get more clients. These are all ways to help with your growth. And you should all encourage and embrace new technologies in your firms. Call everyone in the firm to innovate. Okay. You have concrete heads that may not want to move forward, but it's going to be necessary. If you want to attract talent, you want to attract the newer generation, you want your newer generation clients to continue utilizing, you need to go ahead and do those things. Okay. Now, what SafeSend can do. Now, I didn't show SafeSend today, but anyone that wants more information can please reach out to us at safesend.com. What do we offer? Again, we offer a solution that automates the entire tax process from gathering to the delivery of those tax return items, organizers, extensions, and things like that. We standardize the assembly and delivery regardless of the return type, whether it's an individual entity. We give reporting and tracking. Okay, we shrink assembly time and we simplify the client experience. They go through a certain number of steps, 3 to 4 steps on each return or each action item, and we walk them through how to go from the beginning to the end. When they are done, and there is nothing else that they need to do, or they're not confused about anything. Okay, and there's other solutions out there. We are just one, but I would urge you to get together with your firm and take a look. And we offer seamless cloud access, enabling staff to work from anywhere and clients to be served remotely. I have a client that told me that they had to make an amendment last minute, last day. They had the return done way ahead of time, and their client was in like Greece or something, and they were able to get in our system and sign everything and get things done on their phone right away, and it helped them get their required items completed. So with that, I will go ahead and wrap up with our last polling question.
Okay, our last question for you today is, are you interested in learning more about the SafeSend suite? And your answer options are yes, no, I'm just here for the CPE credit, or I'm not the right person to answer that question. So choose the one that is most appropriate to you and then click the submit button. And while you're doing that, Stephen, do you have any final comments before I wrap us up?
Yeah, absolutely. Folks, again, what we want to do is just make things easier for you and your clients. Now, that could be with SafeSend, it could be with someone else, but definitely take a look, take polls with your clients, ask them how they think you're doing. And just see what you can do to improve their life and your life overall. Just take a step back, evaluate, and if you're interested, let us know. And if we don't end up being a solution that works for you, we'll point you in the direction of something that we think can. But really, what's most important is for you folks to take away from this that you can do better and that you can do things for your clients that others aren't. So I will go ahead and answer some QA questions after the poll is closed, but yeah.
Okay, I think we can go ahead and look at some QAs. We've got a few minutes here.
Okay. All right. So we have a few questions that were already answered. I got a couple here. It looks like Luis said, what about offshoring as a solution for the staffing challenges? Luis, again, yeah, that's it's a good solution, but again, not without its frustrations, right? The cost of it. You may have technology changes, security or technology challenges, security. Now, I know a lot of folks, when they send the 7216 and they say to their client, like, hey, it's possible that this may go offshore. In some clients, I'm not saying it's across the board, but they lose a little bit of trust. They kind of get freaked out. They don't want their information to go overseas or offshore or anything like that. So if your clients are good with it, then it's a good solution, but we should be able to handle some of that, most of that ourselves, and kind of use that as a backup, not as our primary. I got a question about, do we support, answered. So do we support Drake? We do not support Drake, but it's something that we're currently evaluating, but is not on the roadmap anytime soon. Do we support ATX tax software? No. So today, as of today, we only support Thomson Reuters UltraTax and Go system, Wolters Kluwer's the CCH Pro System FX and Access, and then Intuit Lacert. Will you contact me for pricing, or do I have to contact you, Mark? Mark, you can go to our website, safesend.com, and there's a pricing tab there. And then it will give you the breakdown of the pricing. It just won't show the numbers. There'll be a link there for you to request the numbers. We're not going to be sending the numbers out in a follow-up. So, but if you want it, we can absolutely go ahead and send some items to you. Would SafeSend replace e-signature for UltraTax by Thomson Reuters? Mark, it definitely could. We do automatically pull all e-file forms and the returns and place signature and date blocks for your clients to sign. And we also provide a standalone signature document process as well. So you can send your engagement letters, power of attorneys, consent forms, things like that. And we have a 97% KBA success rate. So 97% of the folks get through it. And to lend credence to what we talked about on the older clients, about 38% of those that go through are like 60 and older. So it's pretty good numbers there. So yeah, it could be a replacement for that.
Okay, I think that's all the questions we have in our queue. Stephen, we want to thank you for an excellent presentation and for giving us a lot of food for thought. We hope all of you who attended today enjoyed this webinar, and we want to thank you for attending. And we want to thank SafeSend for making this event possible and enabling us to offer a free CPE credit to each attendee. Speaking of CPE, you will receive a link to your CPE certificate later today in an email message from CPA Practice Advisor. If you have any problem with the CPE certificate, and I know we had some technical difficulties on some of the early polling questions, so if that happens, contact me directly at gperry, Gperry, at cpapracticeadvisor.com. Also, if others are watching this event with you at the same computer and they require CPE credit, you can email me their names and email addresses, and we'll get certificates to them. Again, that's gperry at cpapracticeadvisor.com. And now, after this event, you're going to be presented with a post-event survey evaluation form, which we hope you'll take a moment to fill out and share your feedback with us so that we can continue to always improve our webinar series. Thank you all again. Thank you, Stephen and SafeSend. Our audio will end now.